Vehicle thefts has been on the rise in the past few years. This could be related to shortages of new vehicles and in turn bringing up the prices of used cars to a record high. There are many cases where the buyback of a lease and reselling it, you would typically make a profit. There's an old saying that when you drive your brand new car off the lot, you've already lost its value. But recently, due to shortages, new cars are driven miles and miles and are still worth the MSRP. And in this video, I'll be talking about vehicle thefts and how many are being stolen per day, getting more information so that we can understand this is a serious problem. Before we start on today's video, I would like to introduce our Instagram account at LSFT Videos. You can see some updates on my experience with the NX 450h Plus, which may not be shown on any future videos. You can also reach me via direct messaging on Instagram if you have any questions on your NX. And if you like this video, you can provide comments, like this video, and share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, and press that bell icon to get notified when new videos are posted. And if you'd like to support me further and support this channel, you can also provide a super thanks, which is greatly appreciated. And now, let's get to the video. Hey, it's LSFT here today, and today I'm here to talk about vehicle thefts. To begin, I will talk about Canada, where I live, and talk about other countries around the world. So in Canada, vehicle thefts has become a national crisis, and vehicle thefts have cost Canadian insurance industry more than $1 billion for the first time in 2022. In the same report, it says that vehicle thefts have gone up 50% year over year in the province of Quebec. And in Ontario, where I live, and it's not too far from Quebec, it's 48.3% increase. In the Atlantic Canada region, it's 34.5%, and in Alberta, it's only 18.3%. When you look at, okay, if someone stole your car, now let's look at the recovery rates. So they're saying that the recovery rates in Canada is about 57% nationwide. And the highest recovery rate is actually in Atlantic Canada and Alberta. So here we see the top 10 stolen vehicles in Canada, and this is number based on 2021. There's no new numbers for 2022 yet, but number 1 is the Honda CR-V with about 1.7% theft, about 4,117. Number 2 is the Lexus RX series, and that is 6.4%. That's extremely high because they actually don't have that many RXs on the road compared to the CR-V. Then we have the Ford F-150 series, and that is 0.4%, about 1,182, but there's 292,000 vehicles insured with this series, right? So the percentage is quite low. Then we have the Honda Civic with 0.3%, only 768. And then we have the Highlander 1.2% with 748. That's still not very high. Then we have the Ram 1500 series. Then we have the Chevrolet Silverado or the Sahara 1500, and that's 0.6%. Then we have the Honda Accord at 1.3%. Then we have the Jeep Grand Cherokee 0.4%, and then we have the Toyota RAV4 at 0.2%. Since these are 2021 numbers, the landscape has most likely changed. We always have heard in the Greater Toronto area that the Lexus RX series is being stolen badly. There are a lot of people being stealing RXs. Do we really know if that is true? Well, I will have another video coming out that explains 2022 and 2023 York region numbers, and that will actually give you a better insight of the Greater Toronto area, what cars are actually being stolen more, and how does that reflect to this top 10 numbers. So not only people who are losing their cars are losing their cars and have to buy a new car, but there's more to this. Now the industry of the insurance industries are saying that they've lost $1 billion last year, and Ontario itself is $700 million. And there is no sign of slowing down. So the insurance companies are now actually saying that you will actually be seeing increase of their insurance premiums. And they're saying in some cases, they're seeing $500 more for the vehicle that's being on the list of the most stolen. And that's about 40 something dollars per month. So think about your premiums going $40 more per month because you own a Lexus RX or you own a CRV or a Ram 1500. That seems a little bit ridiculous. And they're saying that if you opt to actually get that tag, there is like a stolen car retrieval so they can actually find where you are. That could actually be that help reduce that insurance increase. But still, some people will opt say, I don't want to be monitored where I go. So we have seen places where they're saying that their premiums are going up $2,300 a year when he gets his new car because his car was stolen. So this is getting a bit ridiculous, especially for people who are innocent. They just parked their car on their driveway and it gets stolen, and then now their insurance is going to go up. That seems to be the wrong thing, the wrong message, really. They also show an example that rates.ca, and it's saying that in some cases a 35-year-old male driving in Toronto has no prior convictions, so they have no tickets, nothing, driving a Honda CRV 2020 year are going to see a 26% increase in their insurance. And that's the comprehensive insurance over last year. So that is very significant. So $100, you're asking for $26 more. So 200 is over $50 more. That is a lot. So I'm really hoping that this does not happen across the board, but definitely this is actually helping cars that are probably not as hot or is just not selling as well to get more sales. And the cars that are hot, like the CRV, the RX series, those cars are now going to get a toll because people who've lost their cars probably will not go and get another RX or another CRV. That just seems to be wrong as well. Now we switch over to the United States. And in 2022, vehicles stolen increased 7%, and it surpassed 1 million vehicles since 2008. California and Texas has the most stolen vehicles, and Illinois has the largest increase, which is estimated to 35% between 2021 and 2022. Looking at the stats for the top 10 US metropolitan areas by motor vehicle thefts, and this is 2021. So imagine 2022, these numbers are even higher. And the numbers right here, the theft rate is per 100,000 people. So they're saying right now 1,023.68 out of 100,000 people in Bakersfield, California, ranked number one, which is really about 1% of people have experienced vehicle theft. Is that high? I don't know, but that's still considered a high stealing rate, I would say. And then when you look at number 10, that's Yuba City, California, that's about 0.5%. So when you talk about the top 10 most frequently stolen vehicles in 2021 in the United States, pickup trucks seems to be number one. The Chevrolet full-size pickup, 48,206 vehicles, and the most commonly model year was 2004, and that's number one. And when you look at number two, it's not too far away. The full-size Ford pickup, 47,999, and the most common is 2006. Number 3 comes to the Honda Civic, 31,673, and that's year 2000. The Honda Accord, 30,274, and that is 1997. I don't know who wants a 1997 Accord. Then comes the Toyota Camry, the GMC full-size pickup, the Nissan Altima, Honda CR-V, the Jeep Cherokee or Grand Cherokee, and the Toyota Corolla. And it's funny because when you look at these like stats, they are totally different in Canada. Now let's look into UK. In UK, stats have shown that over the 12-month period, 130,000 vehicles have been stolen in 2022, and that is up from 104,435 in 2021. And that means in 2022, about 357 cars have been stolen per day. And that is up 25% compared to the previous year. And then when we look at the top most stolen brands, Land Rover being number one in UK, with 8,284 vehicles stolen in 2022. And then second is really Mercedes-Benz. And when you look at it, it's only 5,542. So that is seems to be not that big of a difference, but you can see that they have actually done this by cars stolen per 100,000. And if you look at this, Land Rover having 924 vehicles stolen per 100,000 compared to 323. So the Land Rover is 3 times more of a chance to be stolen than a Mercedes-Benz in UK. And when we go down this list, we see Ford, they actually have more cars stolen, 11,700, but then only 292 per 100,000 because they sell more Fords. BMW, 5,800-ish, with 290 per 100,000. Audi, 4,091 stolen, 216 per 100,000. Toyota, 3,095 with 185. And we go down this list, and then you can see that there is no Lexus here. One reason, they don't sell that many in UK. So because that, then the car stolen per 100,000, it's going to be a lot less. They're saying that black cars are most likely to be stolen. The stats have said that about 18,000 black cars have been stolen last year. Interesting, eh? And then they actually look at also by region, and they're saying that West Midlands have the rate of the highest, 251 per 100,000 cars. And then they have Diefield in Wales. They saw the lowest, 22 per 100,000. So that's probably a very safe place to park your car. And then we look at the UK top 10 most stolen car models. It's fortunate that Lexus did not make the top 10 most stolen brands, but here on the 10 most stolen car models, Lexus actually lands 2 spots on this chart. But Land Rover takes 6 out of the 10 spots, with Ford having 2 and Lexus taking 2. So this is probably a chart that you don't want to be number one. Number one, the Land Rover Rover with 30 cars stolen only and 1,400 licensed. I don't know how big of a range of this is, like of this chart, probably by the year, because it seems like they break this down into detail, what color and what kind of like trim and all that. So that's why the number stolen it seems to be much lower. And then number 2 is also another Land Rover Sport HSE with 44 and 2,093. Number 3 is Lexus RX 450h and the CVT, that's with 37 stolen, and they sold 2,197, or there's license 21, like 2,200 roughly. Number 4, we have Lexus again, and this one is the F Sport of the 450h, and that's 68 out of 4,656 licensed. Number 5, 6, 7 comes with Land Rover again, and one is the Range Rover, one is the Rover Sport, so you can see those numbers. And then number 8, 9, we have the Ford Fiesta, and then also at the end, number 10, another Land Rover. So if you drive a Land Rover in UK, definitely a place to be worried about. But then if you think about just by amount, I think Ford is the one that actually has the most stolen, because 11,000, even though they have that 4 million license, the ratio is low, but the volume, the number of vehicles stolen is Ford. Land Rover just has the bigger ratio because there's less Land Rovers on the road compared to Fords. And then when you look at Lexus in North America has been stolen a lot more, but in UK charts, it doesn't seem as bad. Instead of breaking down by trim, we just look at just the model itself. And from confused.com, UK's most stolen cars, number 1 is the Range Rover Sport. Then we have number 2, the Range Rover Autobiography. Number 3, the Range Rover Vogue. Number 4, Land Rover Discovery. Number 5, we have the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Number 6 comes with the Lexus RX 450h. Number 7, we have the Mercedes-Benz GL Class. Number 8 is a tie across a bunch of vehicles. We have the BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, the BMW X5, and the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. And number 9, we have another Range Rover. And number 10, we have the Land Rover Defender, Volkswagen Golf, and the Mercedes-Benz CL Class. So you can see very common brands here. We have Range Rover, Land Rover, Mercedes, Lexus, BMW, and a Volkswagen. So overall, I think this sets the tone. There is an issue across the board. Another thing that you're thinking that okay, your EVs are not being stolen, but there's another problem. Thieves are now targeting one pricey electric car part. What is that? It's actually the charging cable. You'll be surprised that people are now going and stealing charging cables. So you can see this person who's in California, and they're saying that, oh, they noticed at 5:22 a.m. someone with a hoodie and a mask walked towards them and unplugged their cord from their car, and they unplugged it from the other socket. And there we go. They're saying that this cord costs $2,700. Oh my god, that was an easy steal, right? And they're saying that they're taking these cords and just using it as scrap metal. There's a lot of expensive copper wiring in there. Or there are cases where they are also like taking it and selling it in eBay or somewhere as a second market price. And they're saying that it takes less than 13 seconds, or about 13 seconds, to steal that cable. So people are now starting to lock the box where they actually have the charging cable, the other side of it, so that even if they take it off your car, they cannot unplug it. And it's not wise to go and snip that cable while it's plugged in. So EV owners also have the same problem. They are having things being stolen. This is really ridiculous nowadays, isn't it? And you think that this is only in California? That's not right. Because look at it. In UK, they're also stealing charging cables. And this is actually back in April timeframe. And those cables are 700 pounds. And it's exactly the same thing. They're not going to steal your car because there's not much of a demand in Africa. But now they're going in and stealing your cable because they want the copper inside of it. So it's not just a California issue, it's worldwide. Like London, or this is UK, having the same issue, and California is having the same issue. There's no matter, I think, very fast, this will happen in Canada as well. The only difference is Canada does not have as many EVs. I'm just thinking, will they actually start cutting those charging stations and just pulling those cables out? I really don't know what on earth is happening in this world. Anyways, it is what it is. Let's move on. So, why are the cars being stolen? Well, because of the shortage of chips. A few years ago, the world's supply of vehicles have dropped during the past 3 years of the pandemic and the chip shortages, which means used car prices have gone up while new cars are slowly getting onto the lots. When there is demand, there is in other countries, and supply is not enough. There is going to be demand for cars, and that's why there are stolen vehicles. There could be other reasons as well. There are a few reasons why some cars are being stolen more. Number one, I would say, is poor security design, and they are easy to steal, meaning they haven't done a good job. They haven't done anything encrypting the signals or doing anything to prevent it. But I think number two is really more important. The demand is high in other markets. where cars are being shipped. So meaning that the market actually requires this type of car, this brand. They depend on this brand, and that is why it's being targeted much more than other brands. The resale value of that are high in these cars too. So meaning because that market needs these cars and the value of these cars are high, it's worth taking the risk of stealing this car rather than a brand that they don't really care of. Some may say that why not go and buy a Tesla or any other EV since they aren't being stolen as much as these other vehicles. They have great security, they have great tracking devices, and they're very good in technology. Yes, they can be tracked, and I won't argue if they're more secure or not, but we've also seen cases where the Tesla owner's account had been hacked, making the Tesla not drivable at all. And it required Tesla to come in to unlock his account and reverse the charges in order for him to get back into his vehicle to drive it. So, as long as there is technology in the car, there is potential for it to be stolen or to be hacked or even do things that you don't want it to do. If you step on the brake and it's been hacked and it will not brake, isn't that scary? It definitely is. One point to note is that a lot of stolen cars are being shipped to Africa, and for them, charging would be much harder. So that is why EVs is a little bit harder for them to intake. Having enough electricity to power their homes would already be great in Africa, so why spend electricity on a car? This is the first video of a series of videos that I will be talking about vehicle thefts. Next video, I will be providing some insights in the top vehicles stolen in York region in the Greater Toronto area. This actually gives you some insights across the board in Canada, even the landscape in the world here. The numbers are actually more updated than the numbers that we have here on this video. We've seen 2020, 2021, and some 2022 numbers, but the numbers that I'm going to be showing in that video would be comparing 2022 and year-to-date 2023. With over 1 million people in this region, this is a beautiful blueprint to show how bad it could be if this continues to grow to other cities, other regions, and other countries. So I think this is important to show how bad it is and what needs to be done to really resolve this issue. I'm really pointing fingers to car manufacturers. You really need to step up and really go into these vehicles that you sold many years ago. What can you do to help them recover these cars or prevent them from being stolen? The journey of theft prevention will never end because you will do something, the thieves will enhance their way of stealing your vehicle. So this will be a never-ending cycle. It just depends on how difficult it gets, or will they choose another vehicle over yours. Until next video, drive safely. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please comment, like, share this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and press that bell icon to get notified when new videos are posted. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can provide me a super thanks. And until next time, cheers.